Welcome back to Demon of the Week. Hope you've had a good week. And today we're looking at the 54th spirit of the Goetia, Murmur.
Welcome to my channel. You are entering the world of magic and mysticism with your host, Lee W. Johnson. Keep the lights on and help improve the channel by becoming a supporter for just $2.99 per month. Hit the join button.
Okay, into Murmur. The correspondences. Date, September 12th to 22nd, direction north, tarot, 10 of pentacles, planet Venus, metal copper, element. We have earth, water, and fire. If I remember correctly, Connolly just states water for the element. Color is green, plant is parsley, incense is sandalwood, zodiac 20 to 30 degrees Virgo, and other correspondences: oak bark, rosemary, rue, balm of Gilead, iron, and gold. And the N is Vefa, Mena, Murmur, Ayer. Okay, into the Goetia. Appeareth in the form of a warrior riding upon a Gryphon with a Ducal Crown upon his head. There do go before him those his ministers with great trumpets sounding. His office is to teach philosophy perfectly and to constrain souls deceased to come before the Exorcist to answer those questions which he may wish to put to them if desired. Connolly says, can keep the dead from harming the living or overstaying its welcome in possessing a medium during channeling sessions. Murmur, for me, was one of the more aggressive and intimidating necromantic demons of the Goetia. Alright, just want to talk about that for a little bit. So, can keep the dead from harming the living or overstaying its welcome in possessing a medium during channeling sessions. Now, this, we often talk about ancestral work, working with the ancestors, and it's usually one of the first things when people want to start working with spirits. It's quite often the place where we suggest they should begin is with their ancestors. You have to, because they're gentle, they're loving, they love you, they're part of your line, not just your bloodline, but they could be teachers and mentors and things like that. But on the other hand, we also have hungry ghosts. We also have the dead who are not so nice. So don't think that just because we say work with your ancestors, we're talking about all of these other entities, all of these other dead that may not want to work with you, may want to feed from you or something like that. They do exist, but the ancestors are different from this. Now, when somebody is a medium and they are channeling through possession, so they are allowing the spirits to come into them and speak through them or write through them, there could be a moment when the spirit doesn't want to leave because it's in a living body now, and a lot of dead spirits, they don't like where they are, they want to come back to the land of the living. So, especially in the case of hungry ghosts, who are just roaming around and around and around and not going anywhere. So, in a case like that, you would need a bit of an extra protection, a bit of an extra boost, somebody to help you to get that spirit out of you, and Murmur can help with this. I would also suggest working with Boone to keep guard at the doorway if you're opening a doorway and allowing the spirits to come through so that they can communicate with you. I would suggest using Boone to just guard that doorway to make sure no parasites or imposters or anything unwanted doesn't come through the door. Alright, and also her mention of Murmur being a more aggressive and intimidating necromantic demon. What's interesting there is Murmur Wake and Jehannam actually have an opposing ideology there. Motor Wake actually mentions that Murmur is an incredible gentleman and not aggressive. So, a bit of a different experience, understanding, approach, perspective on the single spirit. Wake also goes on to say murmur in Latin means many things relating to sound, including noise, whisper, murmur, rustle, hum, purr, ... Some connect murmur with mormo or mormon, which is, Wake mentions mormo being a female vampire spirit in Greek folklore that was used to scare children and keep them from misbelieving. However, Johannum says Mormo is regarded as the son of Hecate, born a human, executed, and then risen up as something of an ascended master of death, which kind of reminds me of Christ. Murmur can, going on with Johannum now, Murmur can show the witch how to shapeshift into a ghoul, protect the witch and coerce spirits to appear and behave as the witch sees fit, answering whatever questions, rules music, the dead, psilomancy, and psychic vampirism, can strengthen the astral double, improve spirit communication, impart the gift of restraint, and answer the witch's questions, useful in the performance of exorcisms. So there's quite a bit from Johannum additional to what was mentioned previously. Mormo is old and he can be grumpy. His social skills need improvement, so he can come across as an asshole, but he will be helpful nonetheless. Kind of reminds me of myself. Generally referred to as a ghoul in Greek lore, they refer to him by the title Lamia, vampiric demon or daemon. Specific species of Dracana, partial serpentine, partial human, which is vampiric. The actual Greek term for the species of Lamiae, which Mormo and his descendants fall under, is called the Mormollicae, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, which means terrible wolves. They are most often called ghouls or hobgoblins in England. They love blood and respond with glee and frenzy to offerings of blood. Right. The Goetia ritual goes into the symbolism of the Gryphon. Denotes vigilance, vengeance, and aggressive forces, guided and driven with martial intention, represented through the hawkish symbol of the soldier. Right, that's Murmur. Quite a lot on Murmur today. And I'll see you next week for another one. Have a good one until then. Bye bye.